them gentlemen because these people have been in this game way before I was born. So it's just a big learning process for me, and we are colleagues too. I have Matthew Okodua joining me in the studio today. Good evening, Matthew Okodua.
Good evening. Thank you very much.
So he calls me boy. Okay, I have Muwademi also joining me live in the studio. Good evening. Okay. Well, I promise it to be a good time on the show today. That I can assure you. So let's just get straight up into it. Just late yesterday, there was a letter that was signed by the former secretary to the government of the Federation, Mr. Babachi Lawal, and on behalf of some selected northern Christian groups. Yes, some selected northern Christian groups, and they came out to endorse the candidacy of the former governor of Anambra State and the candidate of the Labour Party in Nigeria, that's Mr. Peter Obi. And the endorsement had actually generated a lot of not controversy, let me say conversation around it. It was on national TV this afternoon. I watched the whole session all through, and he said a lot of things. He talked about the breath of freshness. He talked about people without so much baggages, so many of this. Let me start with you, Muwademi. I'm sure you know Babachi Lawal, and he also said something that he didn't come into politics to play politics. He only came into politics to help make President Buhari president for 2 terms, and he's done achieving his aim. So let's get straight up into this conversation. Where do we start from? Muwademi, what do you make of that endorsement? I remember a couple of weeks back on this show, we talked about the fact that yes, well, endorsement may not go far as it is. Well, a lot of people cannot particularly determine who you vote for, but this is a major endorsement. And Babachi Lawal has been on the issue of the Muslim ticket of the APC. So let me start from you, Adeyemi. What do you make of that particular endorsement?
Well, it's one of the series of endorsements we are going to see as we are getting into the election. But I'm not surprised, I think, with the turn of events concerning Babachi Lawal and his group, and then from that part of the country, from the northeast, when Tinubu initially signaled of picking a running mate from that part of the country, they signified that once Tinubu is a Muslim, automatically he should look at a Christian from that side of the country. But be as it may, for whatever reasons, which they are justifying, which I'm not a PR, the APC did not go the way of the Christians in the northeast, especially Babacha and his group. But immediately, Tinubu picked, I think, Shetima, who happened to be from Borno State and also a Muslim from the northeast. Babachi Lawal and some other politicians from APC, even from that extraction, came together to form the association. It wasn't an association that had been in existence. So it came as a reaction to
the Muslim
ticket of Tinubu, in which I think they have the right to do so, because they are thinking in that part of the country that if we are having Muslim Christian ticket now, I think they are being marginalized. Their lives are not safe. Considering what's happening in Benue State, some part of Plateau, some part of Yobe, some part of Bauchi.
Middle belt, even in Nasarawa State.
Some part of North Central and Northeast. So if you have been following the trajectory, you know that they've said emphatically that there's no way they will support a Muslim ticket. So for them now to come out to endorse Obi, who is a Christian, nobody will expect them to
do otherwise.
Do you understand? Because they know they had chance of endorsing Atiku after Atiku picked a Christian as his running mate. But now Oshibajo is the vice president. I think what has he been able to do in that office? I'm talking of
to protect the
interests of the Christians. Yeah. No. So, but if they have a Christian at the helm of affairs, certainly, at least as the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, like if Obi eventually wins, certainly it will better their lot, especially in the area of security. They have the right to protect their lives. They have the right to protect what they think is their existence. You know, if your survivor has been resistance, is being threatened. So you have every right to take any action, at least that is legal, to protect it. So they are protecting the action, and they are right in doing what they have done. But I think the whole country will decide who becomes the
at
president.
the end of the day.
Okay, let me pick it from there. Matthew Okodoa. Well, I don't know how far this endorsement would go. We've talked about the Afenifere endorsement. By the way, Chief Adebanjo was in Ibadan rally yesterday to support Peter Obi. He said he's doing the talk and do. He's not just doing the endorsement, he's also showing that he's endorsing Peter Obi. He was there in Oyo State yesterday. But how far do you think this particular endorsement would go when it comes to pushing the interest of, these candidates? Recall that one of the things that we'll still discuss on the show today is the sentiment that are driving these candidates. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has said over and over again that he's not contesting for a religious office. He wants to win an election and fix this country, that it is these distractors that are bringing in the Muslim ticket. But with this endorsement right now, how further does he set Peter Obi off as a religious candidate?
Well, the Tinubu shouldn't have said he's not contesting as a religious candidate, because religion is a factor in Nigerian politics.
Should he be a factor in Nigerian politics?
Well, as at today, at the age of the developmental age of politics in Nigeria, it has become. Especially when the last regime is perceived, it's still there. I mean, the current regime is perceived to have been anchored on religion. Most of the policies, most of the appointments are religious based, according to them. But you see, when you talk of endorsements, I believe there are still influencers. So if influencers are still working, endorsement may work too. But it's the extent we are looking at, the extent of that endorsement. So if the Christian coalition in the north said they have endorsed the B, Afenifere led by Adebanjo said they have endorsed the B, and the G5, the weakest G5, said they have some tacit agreement with Obi. It's like Obi is coasting home, endorsed by faith and metaphysical aids, according to Macbeth. But one thing I want to draw out from all these things is that we're beginning to have some developments, some positive developments in Nigerian politics, which I think in the next election may correct one or two things. That is, unlike in 2015, when the new PDP disagreed, they decamped. But where we are here now, these people are not decamping, they remain. Weakest G5 have serious disagreement with Atiku's campaign. They didn't.
With the leadership of the PDP,
they are not decamping. They are there doing their job. This group, the Christian coalition,
the Northern Christian
groups, they are in APC and they are not decamping. In other words, we will now see the ability of the parties to manage crisis. Nobody. What I'm looking at is a situation where some of these people are probably now working on ideology. We have an APC ideology, we stay on it, but we're only fighting the same faith ticket. That's all. So we remain APC with our APC ideology, but we are fighting this same faith.
Is that not anti-party? Babangida Lawal was the former secretary to the government of the Federation, and part of the key people that formed the Northern Christian group is one-time former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara.
Who I just told you, they have interest to protect. Whether he was secretary to government or not, that does not mean he doesn't have interest to protect.
Of course,
they have their interest to protect first, because especially in that angle, in that territory in Nigeria, the Christians are actually, let me say, badly treated. I hope that is fair enough. They are badly treated, and as we evolve, as democracy in Nigeria evolve, even you as Okwe, you are looking for your interests to be protected, to be improved upon.
Exactly.
That is why now maybe if you voted in 2019 for a particular candidate and your interest was not met, you have you are making a decision now, maybe to vote for another person who will meet your interest. From individual level to group level, that's what it is. So they have interest to protect, and politics is actually a game of interest all over. So what I'm saying in effect is that it's as if we are beginning to maintain what I call it now, the philosophy, our political philosophy, our political objective, and all of that. That is why these groups are not breaking away from their parties, because they believe in their own democracy. They are not breaking away. They believe in their philosophies, they believe in their objectives, and they believe in their what do you call it now, in whatever they believe in that. That's why they are in that party. They don't want to be abandoned to go to the next party. It would have been easier for Wike and these people to say we have come to Labour.
But couldn't this problem be fixed internally? Let me still stick.
That's what I'm telling you. I say these people remaining in the ideology, original ideology of their parties. They are not taking away to another party. It means that opportunity exists within the party to correct it before the elections. There's no insistence that it must be like this. No. You have, these people are our people. They are not enemies. They are within us. So let's see what is going on. They have the opportunity to make the corrections.
So as it is now, we should expect more endorsement as we move towards the election.
It will always happen. Individual endorsements, group endorsement, company endorsement is always there.
Okay.
But the fact is, individual endorsement is more believable than group endorsement. If I say I endorse you, I endorse you. If I say we endorse you, you cannot bank on it.
The group is faceless.
You cannot bank on it because the people behind me
can decide.
They just keep quiet. But when it's time to vote,
they vote for
the person they like. So nobody can take the group endorsement to bed.
Okay, well, very interesting. Maybe we should just put that aside, since it's still going to be an open conversation. So the more these endorsements come, the more we'll talk about it. Now let's talk about INEC. Some foreign media organization paid a visit to the chairman of INEC yesterday, and for I've heard this more than 1,000 times in the last few months. He assured the people that this is going to be a good election. Now, let me ask you, Amiwademi, why do you think INEC had to come out every time to continue to reassure Nigerians that this is going to be a free election? Do you think there's some, maybe pessimism somewhere, or some people are just skeptical about the fact that even with the new electoral laws, even with the technology coming into election, even with the beavers, even with the mode of transmission of results, where do you think this fear is coming from that INEC needs to keep coming out to assure Nigerians?
I think in the threat to 2023 election is real. And if you have been following what is happening in a couple of days, you will know that there are some elements in the society that are not that comfortable with the Electoral Act. I think Electoral Act, the amended 2022, because of the technology is introducing, which of course is capable of changing the way and manner.
The existing pattern.
The existing pattern, yes, because with the beavers, as we mentioned, and even the man specifically said that there won't be any need to use incident form. So meaning that you can easily track those who came to vote, and the beavers will count the number of those who were registered, and we are going to know the number of people who actually came for the election. So falsifying that figure and a true incident form or through other means may not be possible. What I'm saying necessary for the public is that if you register in the polling unit, you have about 500 that came to registered in the polling unit, and only 100 came out to vote. It's only that 100 that they will be captured, and the result from that polling unit cannot be more than that 100. So meaning that there's no way you can say, okay, oh boy, how do we share the remaining ballot papers? And they use incident form that reduces of people. No extra ballot paper. So with that one, some politicians are not comfortable. Again, and the mode of transmitting the result, that immediately from your polling unit, at least immediately it gets to everywhere in the world. Once you can just log into the INEC portal. But some people thought, yeah, we celebrated it when and the National Assembly passed the bill, and the president endorsed it. But not sooner that politicians begin to see, I think that they have been those who had intention of cheating. I think they've shot themselves
on the foot.
And they now begin. First, initially, we saw somebody who went to court. At least that even what has already become a law, at least should not be implemented. So when somebody went to court, and we now begin to see here, INEC chairman, at least that they saying that a lot of people are threatening him, threatening his life, and even suggesting that it's not compulsory for for INEC to implement those laws. And let me sound a note of warning. Nigerians will not accept any election in this country without that they did not use BVAS and that electronic transmission of results. Going back to the existing or the initial old pattern where people falsify results, do anything, Nigerians will not accept it. And if you see the kind of interest many Nigerians have gotten now, at least to be involved in this process simply because they begin to have assurance that their votes will count. But there are a lot of elements that do not want that to happen, and we don't know. You cannot underestimate them. Because when ABN, when Nzerebi, the late Nzerebi started the ABN, a lot of people just wish it by the way that way. Who is he? What will he do? And every day it became what was used by the military to annul June 12th presidential election. So some people are in court already to challenge the Electoral Act, and there's some people, even some parties, already speaking against it. Even some conservative people. I already say that in our area there's no network. In this area there's no network. Here, how would they begin to question this thing again? And when we all know that that's the only way Nigerians can have a credible, transparent, free and fair election. I don't know anywhere in this part of country that will tell me that there's no network that is working there, and the BVAS is connected to the satellite straight. So once there is a sun, once they can see the sky, it charges, it works. So, but if Alex says we have tested everywhere, the 714 local government we have in about 10,000 whatever polling units we have in the country, and we say we have 10 million whatever, that we have networking everywhere. Who is now crying more than they believe to say that you don't have it? So they said they have it, but what was it that some people are not comfortable with it? They are doing everything humanly possible to make sure that even if there will be election, they don't use BVAS. And the Nigerians will not accept any election that jettisons BVAS and technology as already signed by law. So the INEC chairman has every reason to continue to assure Nigerians. Only this week, I think we had a meeting with the transition monitoring group. I think Musa also confirmed it, that I think that there's a threat to this 2023 election simply because some people didn't want the use of technology, and they are working 24 hours to sabotage INEC efforts, and we cannot underestimate them. If you consider what happened in Osogbo, if you consider what happened in Abeokuta, where suddenly I think there's some people for no reason jumped into INEC office and burnt the property. So who knows how far they can go? Who knows if they are trying, even if they cannot damage the satellite, that they can just few days to the election and just go and blast all the BVAS. So election must hold now. Do you understand? So what I say that INEC has a responsibility to make sure it protects these BVAS. INEC must ensure that if they want, if Yakubu wants his name written in gold, he has started a good work. But if he wants his name to be written in gold, I think he should do everything humanly possible to protect BVAS and ensure BVAS is used for the election. Okay,
and thank you. Let me come to you, Matthew Okodoa. A lot of people, I think last week, the United Nations released a new, statistics about the population that we are right now in the world, and it puts it at 8 billion, and it puts Nigeria at the sixth most populated country in the world with over 200 million people. What that means that Nigeria is the largest black nation in the world, according to that particular number. How important is this election to the entire world? Now, I'm not talking about Africa, because Nigeria has got the potential of becoming one of the largest economies in the world. I mean, towards the end of former President Goodluck Jonathan's administration, the indices were good. I mean, the numbers were looking really good. The economy was rising towards, this on the positive lane. But it looks like we've gone back to ground zero now. We've had to deal with COVID. We've had to deal with recession twice. I don't even know if you're out of the recession right now. And then look at the dollar. Look at the street of Lagos. Everywhere in this country, there's fuel scarcity right now. Now, we have an election that seems the entire world is interested in. That's why we had international media organization meeting with Professor Mahmoud Yakubu yesterday. How important do you think this election is?
This election is very, very, I don't know how many varies now, very, very important for us as a nation, to the international community. International community, they don't want election not to go well in Nigeria. Any confusion that comes up from the election will eventually affect not only our neighbors but the international community, the diplomatic corps, other international agencies that are in Nigeria will be badly affected, and our reputation across the borders will also be badly affected. But you see, to us as a nation, what we are looking at is fear of advancement. You asked the question before, why INEC will always come and defend their preparation for a good election. I will let you know that, just as Adeyemi said, the old order, the old paradigm of voting is you lay ambush here. Once after voting, carry the ballot box. You start stuffing another ballot box. Before you get to the collation center, you exchange it. People would have prepared for that kind of thing. There are merchants of ballot snatching who are ready for those kind of things. But with beavers, when there is no movement of papers in boxes from place to place, that is defeated. It also means that you cannot pull a wool over Nigerians' faces of who you are. You better tell us exactly who you are so that we can vote for you. Don't sit down. The statement before that people used to make was that you vote or you no vote, you will enter. Do you understand that? Whether people vote or don't vote,
they know the winner.
If you like, there are 500 people in this polling unit. Let 10 turn up. That 500 must be complete. They will send it to where they are counting. So everybody, those people are afraid of advancement in what we are doing. Then they are angry that you cannot count. I mean, that is the way you count the vote is no longer the way you used to do it before. Everybody, all those politicians are angry. Just as I said, there are no more extra ballot boxes. The real fear for these people is what happened during the primaries. They found out that the people could vote like 10, 20, one person would vote like 10, 20 people. For the politicians were annoyed that the electoral law took the people who could take decision out of it and gave it to the ordinary people. That it is a delegate from the various states, various wards that actually did the primaries. So in other words, they have seen what the beavers can do. That you either eat or you are not it. You won't be voted it. That is their fear. So credible elections across the world, when you talk about international community, when our elections are credible, our nation will also be credible in their eyes. When our elections are not credible, we are, as a nation, we are not also credible in the eyes of the international community. And that credibility goes with a lot of things with it. Respect, investment. And then you can imagine what it is when you are credible as a nation. And when you are incredible, when you are not credible as a nation. So what that means is, Mahmoud is working hard. When he said, he did not say good election, he said the best ever. When he says no more incident forms, if either by accident or whatever. If your picture, your details are not captured, no incident form, don't fill any form. Nobody's taking any form. Sorry, if you are not captured, you can go next. Go and get yourself ready for the next election. If out of 90-something million, let's hope we have about 40.
Is that not disenfranchisement? What if the intention,
No,
or what if the fault is genuine? What if the fault is genuine?
Disenfranchisement is what you do deliberately. In this case, you are a registered voter. I'm a registered voter. DMI is a registered voter. We go there with our cards. The Beavers accepted yours. Beavers accepted his.
But he didn't accept mine.
No, that is nobody's fault. That's the problem of technology. It's not disenfranchisement as in a negative form.
Sorry,
it's just unfortunate.
Sorry, let me quickly chip in here, right? If you see, I think I monitored the election in Ekiti, especially in Osogbo State, where they really use these beavers. The way they capture these beavers now, there are two major things to prop up. One, your finger. The second one is your face. Right. Each beavers, each machine is not something that's generic. That's general. A particular polling unit has its number
Already on the
beavers. So all of you, whether network or no network, this moment
Doesn't matter now.
doesn't matter. Once you are in your right polling unit, you went there to check the printed papers,
Verification.
verification, and you could come to the people, to the agents, to the INEC ad hoc staff that this is my number as pasted. Once they put the beavers on your face, it will prop up immediately. It will bring out your face. You know what I'm saying? Immediately, it's just as somebody wants to take a photograph now.
You would appear on.
Immediately, you appear with all your data.
So that automatically rules out identity theft.
No,
That's not identity theft.
Rules out identity theft, and it's not that only when you are using a fingerprint that maybe we say, oh, it did not come out.
Don't come out.
No. Once you put a fingerprint, it will bring out your face and your data. Even if they just use the camera to show set it on your face, it will bring out that face,
the features
immediately. So and once it brings out those things, it marks you, it ticks you,
correct,
that you have you are present, and they immediately hand over your what call it voting ballot papers to you. So that's how it works. So that's why the INEC chairman is confident that there won't be issue of incident form.
Okay, I think at this point now it's very clear. I mean, our democracy is still evolving, even though Matthew Okuda always doesn't, agree with that. So that takes us into the next conversation. There's been a lot of polls now, polls like opinion polls. Yes, in the last 3 weeks, we have a lot of organizations starting the town hall series, TVs, media, prints, everybody, and as time goes on, we have a lot of them still popping up. Maybe religious organizations, professional bodies will still organize theirs as well. But now we have polls flying everywhere. Oh, there's this online poll, this person is leading. This online poll, this person is leading. Now, let me start from you. Matthew Okono, how genuine do you think the intentions, let's start from here. How genuine do you think the intentions behind the polls are? Because you look at the figures that we have right now, somebody tells you, oh, candidate A is from region A and is leading in region A. Candidate B is from region B, is leading in region B. Candidate W is from region W and is leading in his region. What exactly, let's start from here. The intentions of these polls, what does it stand to achieve? What does it stand to tell to the people?
What are the challenges of perception so far? That would be one major reason for these polls. First of all, let me start from not Labour Party, Peter Obi. Everybody say Peter Obi does not have structure or this or that. The pollsters want to go and check whether that will negatively affects his chances. That is one. Then two, the regional affiliation, the tribal sentiments. How has candidate A penetrated the tribal base of candidate B? How has candidate B penetrated the tribal base of candidate C? Three, let's move away from city centers where it is assumed people watch TV, listen to radio, the identity, both color and name recognition of these parties are well known to the people. Are you sure that these parties and their candidates are well known outside the cities? They will go to the villages, as one of the polls did. Went to outside outskirts, far villages, and still conducted a polls. These are some of the reasons why. These are some of the reasons I believe that the pollsters, start conducting this poll. Then the fourth one is the trend itself. The trend that, okay, yesterday A won. I mean, A led. Next week, A still lead. You come up with a situation like neck to neck. When you say neck to neck, that is, you lead today, somebody lead you tomorrow. You lead next week, somebody else lead you a week thereafter. That's what they're saying. But my worry here is not whether somebody is leading, has led 3 times or led 4 times or this or that. My worry is that the tribal leanings, which me as a person, I don't really like. It doesn't suit me. The tribal leanings are still there. Obi winning leading in the southeast, Atiku leading in the north, then Senator Bola Tinubu leading in the southwest. It doesn't suit me. We are no longer looking for a tribal president. We are looking for a Nigerian president. So that somebody is leading somewhere does not necessarily mean that he is the best. But those people in that environment are judging him to be ours.
They're adopting him as their own.
It's our own. So it's our mind, it's our person. And that the choice of our person has not been good for Nigeria. So we should move out from the tribal sentiments and move straight to the issues. Nigeria has problems, for God's sake. If our person in quote cannot solve it and your person can solve it, so be it. Let's give it to your person to solve our problem for us. Not that after 4 years we are looking at ourselves, we think it's our person now, but if you do the thing now, don't you investigate before whether he can or he could not before you choose him? So let us look for a candidate. That's why I was actually happy when I saw Afenifere yesterday endorsing Peter Obi. At least across the Niger. So those are the reasons, 4 reasons I think that these polls are becoming necessary, so that we now know the trend. This has become number 1 now. We know the competition is tight. Those are the things we are looking at.
Okay, and let me come to you, Miwa Adeyemi. Now that Koda's explanation, he talked about perception, he talked about penetration, he talked about popularity as like the key 3 indices for why people push these polls forward. But when these polls begin to, tilt towards different sentiments, the same sentiment we've tried to talk about on this show severally. Oh, this person is leading in a certain religious populated area. Oh, because this person is Muslim, is leading in Muslim dominated area. Oh, because this person is a pastor, is leading in Christian dominated area. Then Matthew Okuda also talked about the fact that some candidates are leading in tribal, with tribal sentiment. Does it defeat the purpose of the polls in the first place? Don't forget that he also talked about consistency in results. Candidate A is leading in this particular place, not necessarily because that is where he comes from. Candidate B is losing in this, even where he came from. So do you think all of these sentiments, I know Matthew Okuda may not want to admit it, but I think it's still part of our evolution as a people. How well do you think all of this sentiment affects the purpose of the polls in the first place?
Well, I think that the reality, we are not here just to pontificate, but I think to let people know what is going on. And at this stage of our development, if anybody is reeling out all those primordial sentiments I used to say, the person is not being realistic. That is reality. And we are talking of politics. Politics is is something that is real, right? Because we are dealing with human beings, and the level of our development as human beings here, I think those sentiments are still there. And let me tell you one thing: it's still also a level of development that everybody, most Nigerians, let's say most Nigerians, want presidency to come to their backyard. even not to their state,
Yeah,
even not to their local government, even not to their town.
Right
If
at
right
their
side from their
doorstep.
doorstep, their compound. Ask ourselves, I think, which our listeners should understand is, Obasanjo was the president of this country for 8 years. Of what advantage has it been to the poor masses of Yoruba land? Buhari has been president now for going to
Almost 8 years
almost
now.
8 years. Are they bring for security in Daura better? In fact, it was governor of a state
That first came out to
that
say
first
state
came that
has
pe-
been overrun
yes,
by
that
bandits.
people should come and defend that people should be allowed to defend themselves. It's his own state. So what I say is that until we Nigerians begin to look beyond all these sentiments, to say, well, I want my children to go to school. I don't want them to stay at home. I want Naira, at least to have the, as of this afternoon, Naira is about give us the strength of Naira back to maybe
100
Naira,
100 to 1.
100 to 1. So who will not allow lecturers to go to strike? Who will give us electricity? Who will make our companies work? Do that until Nigerians begin to think in that direction. I think we will continue to have problems. But if most of these polls supposed to reflect at least the reality on ground.
Yes.
Polls supposed to tell us how people are thinking. Do you understand? And where the election might likely at least to lead to. But let me tell you something. Some of those independent polls we are talking about, the first question was how independent
Are the people running it?
are the people running it. Then I think with the scope, the intention. Do you understand? The Fitch first came out with their poll. They said Obi winning. All right. Few weeks after, their chairman was also on the screen again. I think Peter side saying Tinubu is now winning. Like the first one they did, only cover online. But when they went on ground, they saw that Tinubu was winning. Do you understand? Then how credible are all those things? Do get my point? And how will you now conduct a poll initially in the first instance
Online.
and limited yourself to Twitter? Will people vote on Twitter? Somebody from Ghana, somebody from Liberia, somebody from US, somebody from Britain will participate in what you do on Twitter. So do they have are they Nigeria able to vote? Anything on Twitter, into social media is global, right? So, but so if they are serious at all, do you understand? Are they not supposed to know how to conduct a credible poll? But let me tell you the truth. What you're having in public, we might continue to deceive ourselves. But serious political parties know how to get credible polls. I've sat, I think, at the research of a political party some time ago, even in a state, right, in a research department, strategy and research department, and a week to the election, we got a credible poll that told us our strength in each of the local government, and then the poll came back to say we are losing that election. Even when we thought we were winning, and we were having a sitting governor. Do you understand? So to succeed a sitting governor from the same party, and the opinion poll came
That the government is losing.
that no the successor, the person he wanted to succeed him. Do you understand? That is losing this election in so polling units, and these are the reasons they give. And then when we saw that opinion poll, everyone was almost let loose that night. So people did not believe. They said, come, if they are saying this, we have to work. We have to work to the extent that a party that we never, in the strategy session, we never criticized, we never worked against, they said we win the election, and they eventually won the election. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying that some political parties, they know credible polls, they know agents, the organizations that will tell them the true color.
Yes. And
How things are on the field.
How people on the field. And now when they have it, it's been enough for them. You now see them working on it. Do you understand? Because any poll you have now, any poll result you have now is not final. Do you understand?
it's as at that day.
As of that day, it's not final. You still have a 1 month or 2 months to work. Do you understand? to make sure where you say you are losing.
You build up.
Why are we losing here? Right? So you know what to do there. When they say you have strength,
you consolidate on
it. So, but some political parties, I'm telling you, their research departments are having credible poll of each state and local government, and the people in strategy section, they are working on all those ones. But these people that are working on whatever now, they can have influence on one political party where you have done this, okay, take this and go and do it again, go and do another one. So with that one, that who pays the piper now without this is true.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let me come to you. Yes. I would want to open the phone because I mean, since you started off, the lines have been buzzing. Let me ask you again. Now that we've established the fact that the intention behind the polls could be a little relative. It could be, you know, somebody somewhere just say, okay, let me push this for, let me sell this market, let me do this and all of that. But my question is this. We've listed a lot of things that often, you know, help or influence people's voting decisions. We've talked about campaigns, we've talked about manifestos, we've talked about policy papers, we've talked about perception, endorsement, we've talked about so many of these things on this show under several topics. But now let's talk about the polls. How much influence do you think the result of these polls have on a potential voter? For instance, you go on social media, you pick a newspaper, and because you think, oh, party A is leading, that is the party I want to vote for. I mean, you don't even know the things they put together for him to be leading. You don't know what the party wants to do for you. I want to ask you, Matthew, how well do you think this result of these polls influence, especially the voters that are undecided?
I was coming to that. It's actually for when Mr. Adeyemi says something like influencing polls. It would be suicidal for any serious politician to start jubilating because
on the result of polls.
Because the poll says today
is winning.
Because there's always a caveat to any poll result. If the election
holds
is held today, the caveat is there.
That means in the next 24 hours, that result is invalid.
It can change. That's what it is. But just coming back to your question, how does it influence the undecided voters? Well, we have what we call the bandwagon effect. The man who has not decided, seeing that consistently or otherwise,
this particular candidate is leading.
I better follow here. I don't want to lose. I don't want to vote for the loser. That is what it is. That's the main effect. They just reroll them into your side. But one thing again about credibility of polls is, apart from the one that are influenced by dubious people, polls have scopes. The one that says online, he has identified the scope that it was online.
Only online. His data was
online.
His study group online.
And the rest of them.
Okay.
There are others that say only in cities. Do you understand? There are one that says only in villages. These are the limitations. They will tell you that these things are based only in the villages.
But we all know this because we are here on this part. A lot of people just see these results. They don't even know these scopes that you're talking about.
They don't know. That is the issue. They don't know. But the idea is that normally before you believe anything, try and know what it is. You know? So they will give you the scope. That this scope was like the ones that came yesterday. One of the interviewed 2,000 people, which in normal research parameter, it was enough for a country like Nigeria. Okay? Then somebody had about 46,000. That's too large. To analyze 46,000 will take you time. Do you understand it now? Then 2,000 is just enough for us to know, but the limitations are still there. That okay, it is only in this area, which is saying that a general poll in America have what called poll of polls. That is all the branches of polls that people did
brought together
and analyzed. A might lead in online, but might be number 2 in the village, but might become number 1 again in the city, or might be this among the Christians, it might be this among the Muslims. Then everything now put together, you have polls of polls. That is one that worry politicians. But that's what Adeyemi said. It's not just worry you, but it makes you work.
For the ones that want to work.
Yes. Not if you are
serious about
a phone for 100 million naira. What are you talking about?
No, I mean a lot of People stepped out even after buying the forms.
and they will campaign. So for now, it's useful for any poll. No politician should underrate it. No politician should jubilate about it. Work. It leads to more work. If they say, okay, APC has not done well by the polls in the southeast. Don't say, that's Obi's poll. No.
Go there.
Go and work. If they say Obi has not done well in Lagos, Obi, go and work well. Because it's as at that day.
Yes.
The doors are not closed for your improvement. You can improve a day before. Things can change. Language, just language, one word. Obama, yes, we can.
Finish.
That was it. Just look for a muse to give you a word. You won the election. A word that will resonate in people's mind and hearts. You keep working. One thing I noticed with our political parties, they don't have what do you call them, strategic officers that design. Instead of you recruiting 20 spokespeople, just get 2 strategic thinkers. Let them go about. You want to win election, let them go about looking at what people are doing. Even if the poll is done by chicken and hen, take it and study it and go ahead and work on it so that you want to win election.
Okay. Thank you very much. Well, in case you're just tuning in, this has been the Situation Room on Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. And it will come up on the airwaves every Mondays to Fridays. And we basically talk about everything you need to know as we build up to the 2023 general election. And with me in the studio is Matthew Okodua, is director of Broadcast Art Institute. And of course, I have Miwa DME, is the chief political editor of Guardian newspaper. And we've looked at a couple of issues, today, especially as regards why do we keep expecting INEC to come out and assure us that there's going to be a clean election? Why are we so skeptical about the outcome of the 2023 election? We've sorted out on this platform. And again, we talked about, endorsements. How far does it go when it comes to people making political decisions? I mean, somewhere in my mind, I'm just having this feeling that the weight of expectation on the 2015 election, I mean, as at that time, the insecurity challenge we have was not even this bad. Yes. The economy was not this bad. The infrastructure was not this terrible. We can't hide from this. This has nothing to do with, media bias or anything. These are the facts that we have on the table. But that particular election, the level of, anticipation for that election was really out of the roof. But look at what we have now. According to the statistics that INEC released, we have more people registered to vote, more younger people registering to vote, new development in our election, especially trying to build trusts with the introduction of the beavers and all of that. So I'm really positive towards the 2023 general election. I just have a feeling that there's no perfect election anywhere. I mean, even in the US, which is the model of democracy, I think under former President George Bush, there were reports that over 300,000 ballot, box were seen on some water in the state of his wife that belonged to his opponent, Al Gore, thereabout. So there's no perfect election anywhere, but we want something we can be able to say, yes, this is our own election. This is our evolution. We're done with killing on election days. We're done with snatching ballot boxes. We're done with all of those killings. We're done with all of those things. We're done with falsification of results. Yes. We're done with where people's results will be higher than the people they are credited. Voted, yes. So this is the thing that should embrace. I mean, so when people say they want to attack INEC office, when they say they want to burn PVCs, I keep asking, like, are you know?
Office seeker should know, not appointed office seeker and elected. Should know that it's not the only person there. It's a competition, it's a contest. That's the sports angle of it. That it's only one person that will win it. In that case, he should put his mind down that I either win or lose. 2 results. So, with polls, with your people, work on every information you have to win. But as you are working, another person is working.
Everybody now.
Everybody is working, and everybody, the 18 people working for the presidential ticket or for the president, yes, for the office of the president, they cannot all be president. You can never have 18 presidents.
You can't even have 2.
You can have 2. So it is the one that work better that will win better.
So it's not working smarter.
So it's
working
not
better.
working better. So as it is, everybody, every aspirant should have it in mind that if I win, thank God. If I don't win, thank God. I live to fight another day.
Okay, well, now you can join the conversation. 0913-600-0410. Yes, we'll take the airline news in like 3 or 4 minutes time. But you know, the line has been buzzing. The messages are just keep pouring. So I just want us to engage the callers. Then on the dot of 5 o'clock, we'll take a very quick break, just about 2 minutes to take the headline news. Then we'll come back to pick more calls. Hello, good evening. Hello, good to have you join us on the show today. Your name and where you calling from?
As usual, this is Patrick Okoro from Ikorodu.
Patrick, thank you for staying on.
Yeah, based on the endorsement for the Babashiro Nawa, is it? So endorsing Peter Obi, well, he's doing well, Sha. You understand? That is the only part.
You like the endorsements?
Yeah, I myself I'm a APC member.
Okay.
You understand? I'm a APC member. I have my membership card, likewise other people. So, but I'm not endorsing Peter Obi, and I'm not endorsing Bola Tinubu. You understand? So I'm doing Atiku Abubakar.
Okay.
Come to INEC issue. My own polling booth here is 021 in a government college here in Idiroko. Watch out. Everybody should watch out, please. 50-50. That's how we slug it out here in this polling booth. PDP and APC, 50-50. You understand? People should come out massively. Vote for a choice. This is the right time to make. But sometimes, if you are coming to a polling booth, please, take note. See it very well. Don't let anybody put fear on you. Don't let police people put fear on you. Nobody will be giving you 1 naira because of your vote. You understand?
Thank you.
You know, Professor Mahmoud Yakub should give us credible election. Our vote should be count.
Okay. Thank you very much. When we say the INEC chairman should give us credible election, I'm sure the INEC chairman has only one PVC. It's not the INEC chairman that causes chaos on election day. It is not the INEC chairman that alter or falsifies the election result. Okay, let me take this message before we take this very quick break. We'll take the headline news. This is Frank from Okota, and he says their choice of apologies. The choice of Peter Obi is the best because Buhari is a Muslim from the north, finishing 8 years. It won't be that good to hand over to another northerner and a Muslim as well. For Tinubu, religion doesn't matter, but region matters. Okay, religion doesn't matter, but region matters. Very interesting. The truth is, religion and region matters in Nigeria. Now, Solomon Along, Plateau State Governor, who have been a better choice for Vice President for Tinubu. Okay. Let's take a very quick break. We would come back. We're taking the headline news, and then when we get back, I would continue the program. This is still at the Situation Room on Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos.
Oh, yeah. I want to know. Yes, we want to know. Remember that a simple step is the beginning of 1,000,000 miles. Let's start right now to repeat ourselves so as to make the country smile. Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria?
Clock the time. Rock the groove. It's music extravaganza, where the beat gets hotter. Mainland 98.3.
Baby, let's go.
The sound of Lagos.
Headline news on 98.3 Mainland FM.
Good evening. Headline news on Mainland 98.3 FM. My name is Omobola Sandra. Lagos government diverts traffic for APC rallies. Gbajabiamila cautions critics of proposed students' loan. Northern Christian Group endorses Obi Dati ticket. Ipman says marketers get petrol at over 200 naira per litre from depots. In entertainment, Kiss Daniel performs at 2022 World Cup. Kanye West desires Trump as running mate for presidential election. On the foreign scene, Ukrainian president calls Russia's infrastructure attacks crime against humanity. And in sports, Mbolo gives Swiss opening win over Cameroon. That's the headline news. Details at 5:30.
Which way to go? Oh yeah. Yes, I want to know. Which way to go? Oh yeah.
Okay, welcome back. 0913-600-0410. Let's just get straight up into the calls and messages. Well, we've been talking about a lot of things on the show today. We've talked about the tribal, religious, or party affiliation that is still, dictating what we get in election days. And we also looked at INEC's reassurance of having a clean and the best election ever. Then we talked about the Northern Christian groups endorsing Peter Obi, the candidate of the Labour Party, for presidency on the basis of the religious sentiment, which I think, was clearly spelled out. A Northerner is leaving, a Northern Muslim is leaving after 8 years. He should switch. Then somebody sent a message now, Frank from Okota. He said, if you say religion is not important, but you are selling the region agenda, I think we should talk about our conversation much later. The phone lines are buzzing already. Hello, good evening. Hello. Hello. Okay, it seems this person is not ready to talk to us. 0913-600-0410. I keep your calls coming in. Let's have a very clean conversation. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Good to have you join us on the show today. Your name and where are you calling from? Hello. Your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Andrew from Ketu.
Andrew from Ketu. You have the floor.
Yes. Yeah. My own thing, I just want to say that God should lead us comes next year to 2023, and whoever that will stop the killings and make this country better, let God choose for us, and God bless Nigeria.
Thank you, and God bless you too. Very straight to the point. 0913-600-0410. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, Mr.
Good to have you join us on the show today.
I'm calling from Sule. My name is Lawal Taufik.
Mr. Taufik, good to have you.
Thank you, sir. I thank all the delegates here. They are still very well. But like I always say, if people listen to this kind of program, you can make my day today, because you have said so many things. Concern America, they say one thing and everybody follow. They just not like that. For me, not to concern with Muslims, as far as they are concerned, not to concern with trap, never make anything for me. Like my brother said, when the passenger was ruling, go and marry that gift to me. To my children, nothing. So, like us other people, how many presidents have been ruling from North? What been to them? But unfortunately, my brother, that's speaking to one of my brothers who are from North. What he said to me, I cannot say on radio. I can't say it on radio, lie.
Thank you for that.
That's for us. God bless us.
Okay, thank you very much. 0913-600-0410. Hello, good evening. Okay, just keep the calls coming in, and you can reach us via messages as well. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, hello, good evening.
Okay, good to have you join us. Your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm Mr. Sunday calling from Yanopaja.
Okay. Is this the first time we're joining the show?
Oh, yeah, this is my first time.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. I want to speak on group endorsement.
Please, you have the floor.
My brother, yes, group endorsement does not hold water. I am a Christian, and I'm a member of a political party. Then how can now a Christian can we say that I should not vote for my party? It's not possible. So group endorsement does not hold water. That's it. It's just what I want to tell you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and thank you for joining us on the show for the first time. 09136000410. Hello, good evening. Hello. Okay. Just keep the calls coming in. Prince Wise.
Yes, Opeyemi.
You're welcome.
A very good afternoon, and good afternoon to your guests in the studio.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, those who are adopted to be, for it's a group, or if it's all the Northern Christians. I'm asking, is it a group
Is
or
it-
all the...
It's a coalition of Christian groups in the north.
Exactly.
It must be a group, and that group belongs to Babashia Shehu. Because, Okodua, I disagree with you about Babashia. He wanted to be vice president. And when he didn't get his slot, he had to be campaign against his party. If a pastor, as a former secretary of the government, working for the Jewish people, if he wants that he terminate his own appointment by himself, when he avoid a contract of 200,000 to cut the grass. So somebody not tell me
But he was acquitted at the
The
court.
court acquitted him yesterday.
I
man.
know. If he doesn't commit that offense that very particular time, nobody will remove him from office. Because our president don't know how to sack people.
What if it was an allegation? By what the court decided, it means it was a false allegation.
No, it's better for you to go back to the but that very man you are talking about today, he wanted to be first president, that's why he take his anger.
Was that published?
President-
Was that published, sir?
What is it?
Was it published? Is that a known fact to everybody?
We know internally what is going on.
Are you a member of the
If you
APC?
I'm a real supporter of Tinubu,
Okay.
and I have somebody who can brief me what is going on within their party. I'm a
okay.
voter. I'm not a partisan.
Okay.
But
okay.
today, I'm a supporter of Asiwaju.
Thank you.
Because when you talk of religion in this country today, that man, a Christian, will knock his door without any problem. The Muslim will knock his door because it's free.
Thank you, Prince Wise. Thank you.
Let me stop that. God bless you.
Thank you.
Prince
Thank you
Wise.
very much, so that we can pick other calls as well. Hello, good evening. Okay. Just send us messages in case you can't reach us via phone. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Yeah, this is Okoro from Ikorodu.
I didn't get your name.
Okoro, Patrick Okoro, we were here earlier.
Okay.
Yeah. Please,
Hello. Okay. Just take it easy with the phone calls. I think we need to try and fix it somehow. The calls are really jamming. Hello, good evening. Hello.
you, Mr. Good evening, Mr. Ope.
Okay. I'm glad we were able to link up with you today. Barrister Bakari, good to have you join us on the show.
Thank you so much. My greetings to your guests. They have analyzed quite well.
Thank you, sir.
Now, there's a reason for me to expect regularly an assurance from INEC that they're going to give us the best of election.
Good.
The reasons are obvious. One, we don't know where they are keeping the sensitive materials since they have abandoned CBN. Allegedly, anyway, that was what they told us. And they didn't tell us the alternative storing room or storing location. So we are skeptical about the assurances and promises that INEC gives, simply because we are Nigerians, and when it comes to politics, there is suspicion everywhere, and I have the right to be suspicious. So that is the reason why we need an assurance regularly from INEC as to the fact that they are going to give us the best of election.
Thank you.
Now, as to Mr. Babachir Lawal and the
Christian Northern groups.
Yes, with Peter Obi, well, I think we should appreciate people for who they are. The last caller was trying to make it personal. A court has discharged and acquitted a man. It's as though the man has committed no crime. So nobody will come on air and tell us that if there was no something, they would not have sacked him. That is insulting. So the point I'm making is that Babachir Lawal has the right to his personal decisions, personal view, and we should respect him for that.
Exactly.
They have the right to endorse Peter Obi. Anybody who wants to vote for Peter Obi can go ahead and do. Anybody who wants to vote for another person can go ahead and do. But the most important thing is that we should conduct ourselves well and get the best out of this process.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us on the show today. 091 3600 0410. Let me do justice to the text messages before before they come for me. Okay, this one says the government of the APC and that of President Muhammadu Buhari has made Nigerians to know that religion plays a vital role in today's politics. The Christians in the north and the people, the cause, and the people of Benue and Plateau in the north central and the northwestern Kaduna have suffered a lot in the hand of these people. Okay, I've always said it that I don't read messages that stereotypes a particular tribe. I'm going to skip that part of your message. Okay, then you said the government has addressed all of that, has not addressed all of that. And that Mr. Obi may have a successful day 2023 election. APC will win the governorship election in Benue State because of the personality of the Reverend, which is the candidate, Reverend Father Aliyah. That's Valentine from Oshodi. Okay, let me talk to Ben. Hello, good evening, Ben.
Okay, good evening.
Good to have you join us on the show today.
This is Ben from Lekki.
You're welcome, Ben.
Thank you so much. You see, on Beaver, let me start from Beaver. On Beaver, look, anybody that tells you that there won't be any one way or the other in this election, that person is lying because they use Beaver in Osun State. I don't know, maybe I'm right. And then from the tribunal at the court, the case that was ongoing, that was overvoting from PDP, almost 110,000. Why in the APC almost 60-something thousand with Beaver? So nobody should go on to street and be celebrating Beaver or whatever, stuff like that. If you are on ground, you have your way. If you are not on ground, don't waste your time. So that is that.
Thank you.
Secondly, my brother, look, Babacin Lawan, in his ward, in his senatorial district in 2019, PDP won. The same thing, my brother, the other speaker, former speaker of House of Representatives, PDP always won in those. PDP always won in their community. Either they are going to their APC or not, it doesn't matter. So there's no problem. Everybody have a right to do whatever thing they want to do, whatever. But this election, anybody that tell you that poll is in the favor of Peter Obi, that poll is a waste of time.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you.
Last one, please.
Okay.
If Peter Obi win 8 states in this election, don't let me promise you for now, but I tell you what I will give it to you. I will make it on public or national radio.
I need a car from you if Obi wins.
I'm telling you the truth.
Just tell me that if Obi wins, you are going to give me. You are going to give me.
If Peter Obi win only 8 states in this election, then let me just keep it for now.
Ben, I have your number.
No problem. Good evening, no problem. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much, Ben. Okay. 0913600 0410. This is the situation room, and we're picking calls and we're reading text messages as well. And this one says, I greet you all. My choice is Asiwaju because he's the most experienced. Forget about endorsement. That's Joyce from Agbara. Okay. This one also says, my name is Femi from Bega. Whatever anyone thinks, Peter Obi gets my tickets. Okay, maybe you mean to say PVC now. Whatever anyone thinks, Peter Obi gets my ticket. I'm going to vote for him. I registered in Lagos. I will stay in Lagos and vote for Peter Obi. Femi, thank you very much. 0913600 0410. Hello, good evening. Hello. Hello. Okay, seems this caller is not ready to talk to us yet. Okay, I have a message here, and this one says, my name is Joseph from Ejigbo, and it says, what we need is to pray to God to choose for us. Well, we have our PVCs, and then we need to choose, because if you don't vote, God will not come down to vote for you. He didn't even choose who the candidate of these parties are at the delegate level. Talk less of general election. Yeah, I understand the place of prayer, but you need to walk.
Prayer should guide your mind.
Exactly. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good to have you join us on the show today. Your name and where are you calling from?
Yes, I'm Joe from Apapa.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yes, I think the people from the PDP that have supported Peter Obi, and those of the Christians from the northern Nigeria, I think that is the right decision that reasonable people should make.
like those of the Christians from the northern Nigeria, we have to pity them based on what they have been there. You know, the Christians in the northern Nigeria, especially Plateau State, Taraba State, Benue State, and Nasarawa, and all the rest, Christians cannot live with their two eyes closed. So it is they have been killing. The fact that they are being killing by the Fulani.
Okay, this is the point where you and I would have issues now. Where whatever fact we have with us, I would not really appreciate when you stereotype on this space. Thank you.
Okay, now.
Hello. Okay. He dropped 0913600041, and I'm always been on this line, irrespective of what you think about them, irrespective of how you perceive whatever interest group. Keep the stereotype away.
Make your objective comments.
Be objective. It doesn't really help the situation. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Mr. Derek Badeoye, good to have you join us on the show today.
Good evening. Happy day from Oba.
You're welcome.
My contribution this evening is on the poll and our selective decisions. In voting, everywhere in the world, there will always be different sentiments.
Of course.
And those sentiments will decide eventually how people will cast their vote. But let me tell you one thing. Baba Adebanjo, everybody is accusing Tinubu the other time when he said, Yoruba local, Emi local. But the same thing about Adebanjo is saying, no, it's the turn of the Easterners and Emilokan. So, who is now doing more of Emilokan out of the two of them? So, what is being condemned by somebody is not the same thing other people are saying. Did you get it? That is ourselves. The rest of us that we are liberal in the cities, we continue to watch as different groups continue to accuse each other of that. God will help us.
Amen.
But as we always, please, I wish the beaver will work very well. The beavers, like the earlier caller said, did not have much problem in Osun, but the voters have problem in Osun. There was overvoting. In fact, I voted in Osun. And I can confirm to you that people, the INEC officials, are the one colluding with other people to sidetrack the differ.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you very much, Adeadeoye. Thank you for joining us. And this one says, my name is Gordon from Ikeja. He said, Mr. Ben, you have spoken well. Okay. Whatever Ben must have said. And this one says, good evening. Oseni from Ota. Tinubu is not a Muslim because his name is Ahmed. It doesn't mean he's a Muslim. Let me tell you the truth. There's an agenda. Thank you. Okay. Different strokes for different folks. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
You're welcome to the Situation Room.
Victor from Oshu.
Victor, you're welcome.
Like the way people are speaking, they are all fine. But what I'm begging God, that day of election, the free atmosphere, let there be peace. Because there is something I noticed the other previous election, most of the time. You know, they begin to individualize from certain people. There was a place, polling unit, they will ask me, are you a social tribe? They will put a kind of barricade somehow. But this thing is something I experienced, not that somebody is talking. But I pray this time around that God will help us, like security people also will be sincere. Because that time I noticed that security people, they will be there. Blue eyes like say they are not seeing what they are doing. Imagine ordinary people to have INEC official like they care. They must comply with what we are telling you. We bring out 30,000 share for other people, say they should not give her anything could be from that money. Just to comply to do what they do. But I pray this time that God will help us.
Amen.
They should give us free and fair
election.
Not even election. Allow everybody to vote.
not to bring out those their own troubles. That's what I'm praying for. That's what I'm fearing that is going to happen here in Lagos that day.
Thank you.
Because I'm here in Lagos. You know what's going on here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me see. I can still squeeze in like 2 more calls while I allow my guest to wrap up his thoughts on the show today. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Good to have you join us on the show today. Your name and where you calling from?
Adeto Kumbo calling from Ijoko.
Adeto Kumbo from Ijoko. You have the floor.
Okay. My brother, I have 100% belief in INEC that all 2023 we are going to have a suitable and accessible election. INEC, they are human beings there. But Nigerians, we need to do the needful. Because if we refuse to do the needful, they are collecting money everywhere. Then INEC will not perform miracles. Secondly, all those endorsements, my brother, all of them are corruption. In 1999, the Afenifere, they never endorsed by Obasanjo. At the end of the Obasanjo war.
Because Afenifere had the Alliance for Democracy candidate, which was Olufalaye.
Hello. And we have had a Christian in this country, the governor, in certain states in north central Nigeria. Who were accused of corruption. So, whether you are a Muslim, whether you are a Christian, all of them are probably hard. You can be a Muslim, you can be a bad Muslim. You can also be a Christian, you can be a bad Christian. So, endorsing this, endorsing that won't work out. Let Nigeria vote for a rightful candidate that will lift Nigeria out of the woods. I think that should be our concern now.
Thank you.
Not at this point, hello. We have an Islamic buyer in this country. A lot of Christians go there and borrow money. They never talk of religion there. They go to that bank and borrow money. Christians.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for joining us on the show today. Thank you very much, and I appreciate it. Let me quickly pick a couple of more messages. This is coming from Dio from Fagba, and he says, good evening. Well, he said, Adebantu sang in his song, loyalty na cash and carry. Objection and mortuary, everybody get agenda with their match. With their enterprise. This is what is playing out in this big boys party and campaign, looking at their primaries, their political rallies also. This is the formula they want to use to buy people over. And also there's the issue of INEC and police compromising. No, I'm not going to take that. They say 2023, we have seen the handwriting on the wall. We must do away with vote buyers, Agbero breeders, low-grade minds from local to federal government, House of Representatives, the Senate. Nigerians must vote with sense. Dayo from Fagba, you've been one very consistent campaigner, and I must give it to you. Thank you very much for your message. And let me read this one. This one says, okay, good evening, everyone in the studio. I appreciate your guests, especially the man from Guardian. I read his articles every single time. Thank you very much for what you guys are doing. I hope that other media houses would do more than this. This is Pastor Temilade Adeoye from Ijoko. Okay, Pastor Temilade Adeoye from Ijoko. Thank you so much for the message. This is the last call for today. Hello, good evening.
Hello. Good evening.
You're live on radio. Your name, where are you calling from?
I'm Oluwaseun, calling from Yanamsaja.
Oluwaseun, you're welcome.
Yes, thank you. I've been listening to this program you started. I just want to contribute on the Muslim ticket.
Please,
actually, I mean, but look at the current educational curriculum at all levels of education. Religion matter remains relevant, and until they remove it, until government remove it from the educational curriculum. Yes, this matter of religion will remain relevant, and to avoid psychological problems for people, I think the man has made a big mistake for that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, unfortunately, that will be the size of the package today. Let me ask you, we've heard quite a lot. We've read a lot as well. Do you think this, this fear, I don't want to use the word doubt now, let me just say fear that people have in INEC, do you think it will go away till the election comes? Your final word.
Even after the elections, it won't come. It won't go away. That for any other next election, I'll be fear. Why? Because you look at Mr. Dirogbadoyi from Ogba, cited example that in Oshun, where he voted, there was overvoting. And the issue was not with the beavers, it's the human element. INEC cannot control the human element, or they have a limit to where they can control the human element. And the human elements can also be influenced in two ways, by money or by force. So, INEC can control the beavers, program the beavers, direct the beavers, operate the beavers the way it should be operated. But somebody somewhere will intimidate an official and force him or her to do otherwise, either by force or by what, or by extra incentive. These are the human elements. That's why people are afraid. Another reason people are afraid is, somebody said the other day that, is it today? That there are people who have committed offense before, and up to now, no punishment. You know, people just commit electoral offense in the news. They arrested.
That's where it ends.
That is all. So in other words, electoral offense in Nigeria is as minor as anything else. It's as minor as the only punishment for electoral offense in Nigeria as of today is newspaper publication. After that, the person is gone. And two, last week we said, if Nigerians can hold the process by themselves, that is when it will be a perfect election. If Nigerians hold the process, if INEC officials hold the process, if police people hold the process, if political agents hold the process, if the people who are sent to go and bribe or commit offense hold the process, they wouldn't do otherwise. They would do negative things about the election. Until that is done, people will still be apprehensive about the outcome. All we are saying is the court will tell you reasonable. If the results reasonable enough to be believed, yes, but not perfect.
Okay. Well, that means that we don't have any perfect democracy anywhere. I mean, there are going to be improvements even in our electoral process. That was why the pressure was so much on President Muhammadu Buhari to sign the electoral, act into law. And we have it now. And it's giving us some level of hope that we can, have changes, differences into the outcome of elections in this country. Well, thank you so much for spending time with us on the show today. I've had Mr. Muyiwa Adeyemi is the political editor at Guardian newspaper, and of course, Mr. Matthew Okudua is director of the Broadcast Arts Institute. Thank you so much once again for joining us on the show today.
Thank you.
My name is Okpeyemi. I to keep your dial locked on Mainland 98.3 FM. By 5:30, the full news would come up and our subsequent programs would follow. Tomorrow is Friday. It's always an exciting time of the show. It's open mic, no guest, no topic. So it is more of you and less of me. Don't forget, when you see something, you say something. Have a very good evening. Bye for now.